How's it going? This is Corporate Mower Repair. We've got a Craftsman weed eater in for repair today. I guess maybe there used to be a model number right here. I don't know. I can't find a model number on it anywhere, but it's just the generic Craftsman, Cub Cadet, you know, those sort of cheap box store weed eaters. They all pretty much use the same carburetors and they're all about the same quality. Some people say these aren't worth fixing, but you know what, if it's all you got, then yeah, it is worth fixing. And you know, between 20, 30, 40 bucks, you can have a whole new fuel system and it'll be ready to go. Now, there's one other thing that I do on these. It's not necessary, but it makes the job easier and it enables you to use some better fuel line. If you'll notice, on these cheap weed eaters, they just have holes drilled into the tank, and you got to fight these fuel lines. You know, when you're putting new fuel lines in, you got to sort of fight them to get them to go in, and it's not a big deal. Just cut you a good size angle on it and then force it through, reach in the tank with some pliers and pull them through. But what I like to do is remove this tank, and I'll show you what I install. I install these grommets. All right. So if you want to, you can buy you a pack. Just get on Amazon, type in weed eater fuel tank grommets, and it'll bring up something like this. And you'll use a 5/16 drill bit. We're going to remove that tank, drill those holes bigger, and then install these grommets, and it'll just be a lot better. So if you're going to do that part of it, you need 5/16 drill bit, and then get these grommets. Additionally, here's your new carburetor. Just type in Craftsman trimmer, and this will probably be the first thing that comes up. Just again, generic box store style weed eater carburetor, and it's going to come with your fuel line and fuel filter and all that. So, and then you can use some pliers, and then this is a T25 Torx bit, and that's going to remove everything that we need to do. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to remove these two bolts here, T25 there and T25 there, and that's going to let me drop my fuel tank. All right, once you have those two T25s out, this tank will just pull right out. Now we're going to start removing our carburetor. Flip that top open. I've already loosened these to make the video quicker, but that'll just come off. And then again, you got two T25 screws there. All right. And I've already removed my fuel lines out of the tank. But so there it is. That's just going to slide right out, and we're ready to, I'm going to go ahead and do the fuel tank. All right, your holes will look a little something like this. Now I'm going to, on these grommets, all you got to do is just push them in. All right, once you get them installed, it should look like this. And then while this is off, I'm going to go ahead and install my fuel lines. So my kit come with these two separate lines. First, I'm gonna spray this with WD-40. Spray my line with WD-40. I'm gonna cut an angle in it, and first I'm gonna do the purge line. All right, so I got my angle cut in it, and what I'm gonna do is just start it there, and then I'll be able to reach in and grab it right there and pull it the rest of the way through. All right, reached in there with my needle nose pliers, pulled it out. Now I'm going to cut this off flush, and then I'm going to pull it back through till there's about a 1/2 inch sticking through the tank. Let me pull that back through and show you what it needs to look like. All right, so inch, 1/2 inch or so sticking back through. Now I'm going to do my fuel filter side. I'm going to cut this off to where I got about that much slack. All right, so with what was left over from me cutting off this, I took this line, cut another angle in it, and fed it through that hole, reached in with my pliers, pulled it through, and then I'm going to cut that off flush, and then we're ready to install our fuel filter. Just take one of your fuel filters that come with the kit, you're going to put it in there, and then we'll throw it back in the tank. All right. When you throw it back in the tank, it needs to be all the way sitting at the bottom, and that's the lowest part of the tank as far as I can tell, just all the way to the end there. So now we're going to cut this off where I got about that much slack, and then we'll reinstall it. All right. Those tabs go in those holes. All right, and then put your 2 T25 screws back in. All right, we got our tank installed. Take your new carburetor and then just slide it onto your intake there. Now you want to check this, make sure it's not broken. This is your intake gasket. Your kit probably came with a paper gasket. If this is bad, you can use that. But on this, you just want to make sure that it's not flattened, that it's still sticking out all the way around, and this one is. So this one's good. So take your new carburetor, slide it on your intake. It should be oriented like this. All right. Now we're going to tighten those down and then do our fuel lines. All right, got my carburetor mounted. Now we're ready to do our fuel lines. Now this is important that you don't get these backwards. Remember, for mine, I did the purge line on the back and then the pickup line on the front. This is the one that has the filter on it. The one that's got the filter on it is going to be your pickup line. All right, these pipes. All right, this one here that's at your bubble, it's pushing fuel out, and then this one here is sucking fuel in. So your fuel line that has the filter on it is going to go on this one, the one that's sucking it in. All right, so I'm going to cut these lines, and the one that's the purge, the one that just dumps into the tank, that goes onto this one here. So I'm going to cut these fuel lines to where they'll go under there and not have any kinks in them, and then we're ready to try it out. One more thing, I forgot our throttle cable. So that's the way your fuel lines should look. All right, no kinks in them. And then, we got to do our throttle cable. Just take one finger and hold that back, and then use your other finger to slip that in the hole, and then we're ready to try it out. There it is, running like a bull. Hope you have a blessed day.